Hello everyone, welcome back to Technology Innovation Hub. It's going to be the fourth session from Cloud Portal. We've been doing industrial overview with regards to cloud computing. Let's start the fourth session. And again, I have seen your comments. Thank you very much for those things. And comments are welcome, so you can include whatever things you need other than the things that I'm covering here, so that I can cover in the future sessions. Let me share the screen. Okay, so this is where we have stopped. We discussed the dominance of two giants, Azure and AWS in the cloud market. And we discussed the desktop as service, so which is being in high demand in this pandemic time situation with work from home also. So let's go to the next thing, what is coming up next, that is services. Services offered by different cloud vendors. Again, we are considering the three giants, AWS, Azure, and GCP. Right? Each vendor offers these services, but there are slight differences under their terminology and the way they are offering. Okay, let's start with compute service, the first one. So under compute service, if you take a look at the general categories, virtual servers and PaaS, auto-scaling, VMware. Now under Azure, AWS, their virtual servers is known as EC2 instances, right? That is under AWS. So Azure will say virtual machines, Google will say compute engine. So that's why, these are instances or computers, right? Like in desktop computers, they operate virtually in cloud, right? You can launch them, right? And another example on auto scaling, we can see AWS say auto scaling, right? And Azure says Azure VM scale sets, and Google again says auto scaling. So I don't have any click preference, but let me just, if you take a look at Google, right? Let's go there. If you say Google Cloud Instance, right? So then you click here, you can see the compute engine word. So that is how they are offering name. Under compute engine only you get the Ubuntu instances that is under Linux. Under Linux, Ubuntu, Fedora, those instances are there, right? We'll see practically how to launch them and connect to them and start working later, but this is for you to give you an idea about the different services offered by different cloud vendors. And then comes this. And again, if you want, we can take a look at auto scaling also, Azure VM scale sets. It's okay, right? You can just put a Google telling Azure auto scale, and then Azure VM scale sets will come, right? So, and then the next thing is serverless. So under serverless service, you can see serverless compute offering as a feature, right? And languages supported by serverless, the pricing and the log. So on the serverless, if you take AWS, they have Fargate, Lambda, Aurora serverless, and in Azure they have serverless Kubernetes functions, serverless Kubernetes, serverless functions, and serverless application environment. So that is how it goes. So three offerings, and GCP also they have Cloud Run, Cloud Functions, and App Engine. So three offerings. And if you take the languages, and you can see this is supported by these languages, and except these Azure support TypeScript as well. I think these people are also, but that's okay, it's not in the list. And in GCP, they have .NET Core and likewise Python, Node.js. Okay. So if you take a look at the pricing, because serverless goes on the event-driven architecture, function-based architecture. So pricing, so let's take a look at it, right? If you take AWS pricing for serverless, so this is AWS Lambda pricing. If you go down, or you can see number of requests for your function. That's how it goes. Your function and the duration, the time it takes for your code to execute. So that's how that is known as a event driven. You can see 1 million pre requests per month. So there are pre as well. and AWS pricing. So that is how it goes. Request, you can see 0.20 per 1 million requests. So that's how it goes. Duration. This is for every GB second. Okay. So this is this much of dollars for every GB second. So that is how it goes, pricing. That is on AWS, and again, there are details you can check on this. So the pricing occurs in that way. Just want to give you an idea about that. And if you go for Azure pricing, right? So they also have same thing for serverless pricing. Azure functions pricing, right? So that's a serverless offering. So you can see, explore the pricing, central US currency, depend and our consumption. So again, you can see the execution time, total executions. Same way, the differences are there in pricing. Like so, total executions 0.20 per million executions. They had million requests and the same, right? That's okay. Right? Yeah, I can do the comparison when you do the costing and the migration. We'll come to that later again. Okay, so that's that. And Google pricing also, just check it. I have given the link here right away. And if you want to see the logs, right? Again, the famous login on AWS, we have the CloudWatch and Azure logs, Google logs. So that is how if you take a look at Google logs, right? We'll take a look at that page. So this is Google logs, right? So we have the command line as well. So that is, you want to track the traces and what's happening during the execution. So that's okay. Then comes the container service. There's another service offered by these vendors, containerization, one of the most popular. Service, we have the managed container service. AWS says EC2 container. Actually, it should be ECS. It's okay to say EC2 container service, but normally says Elastic Container Service, right? ECS. And again, they have another one, Amazon Kubernetes Service, EKS. The two offerings are there. And Azure, they have the AKS, Azure Container Service, and Google, they have the GKE. Of course, Kubernetes originally from Google, right? So Google Kubernetes Engine, the GCP, and again the registry, Docker Container Registry. To restore the images, you need to have the registry, right? Actually, to properly name them and tag them, and the repository. So Docker registry and the repository. So AWS, we have Elastic Container Registry, ECR, and these people have Container Registry, and okay, again, GCP also Container Registry. So likewise, service, again, we have serverless function as a service. That is also comes under containerization, that is listed under containerization as well, because serverless functions uses this particular containerization service. That's why it's listed there. Anyway, next one is security service, right? So you can see under security, authentication and authorization, web firewall, security assessment, threat detection and monitoring. So AWS, for the first one, they have IAM, Identity Access Management, authentication. Azure, they say Active Directory. Google, again, they have Google IAM. So you can check these things. Web firewall, AWS web firewall, these people are telling firewall insights, security assessments, Amazon Inspector, Security Hub, and for threat detection, Cloud Armor offered by GCP. Just go through it. Actually, it's better to go through each and everything, because since I have summarized here in the slide, when you study things, when you go into these things, just you can copy this one, and I will upload this deck for the GitHub. You can just copy and search. That is how you should dig into these things. So while explaining, I might not take everything into in detail, but later we will go through. So for you, when you're going through, just take a look at it in detail. So we have more services. I mean, I have selected most of the popular services. Then the storage for comparison, service comparison. The storage, we have AWS, Sample S3, Azure, Blob, Google Cloud Storage. So again, we have that is for object storage. We have block storage. Again, frequent archive and infrequent access data, cold and hot data, file storage, bulk data transport. So I mean, for each category, they have different operands. For example, in AWS for infrequent and archive, they have S3 Glacier and S3 Deep Dive Archive, right? Again, S3 for infrequent, they have a common thing called S3 infrequent and S3 infrequent access standard. That is one offering from them. This is one S3 infrequent access standard. Other one is and one zone infrequent access standard. So that's how IAM is infrequent access. One zone. So those are two different operands by AWS. And for relevant one, Azure has Azure Archive Storage, Azure Cool Blob Storage. So likewise. Okay. So that is about storage. Just take a look at it. And disaster recovery also, they have all papers have different operands, right? And the other thing, the other one most popular one, one of the most popular database services, each and everyone has different operands. Now, for example, if you take NoSQL database as a service, AWS, they have DynamoDB, Azure Cosmos, Cloud Bigtable, that is GCP. Okay, and they have document database services. AWS says document DB, again Cosmos DB by Azure, and GCP file store. And like so, we can go to each and every, but we can click one of these things. So RDS is the relational data services by Azure. Sorry, AWS, right? Azure offers SQL managed instance and Azure SQL databases. So if you click here, it will go to RDS, so it's one of the common offerings, right? And if you click here, it will take you to the Cloud SQL. So when you again go into the deck, you can click and check Cloud SQL by Google, right? So with the factors, later we will come back to these things more detail, but for the time being, I just want to show the difference between the offerings by different vendors. So you can just get familiar with the terms. For example, data analysis. AWS offers something called AWS Athena, and Azure they have Azure Synapses, right? Azure Synapse actually, right? And GCP they have BigQuery again. Ledger service, this is another very important one. Graph database service, Amazon Neptune and Neo4j Azure Cloud Bigtable again by GCP. So that is about database services comparison. All right, let's proceed further. And we have the network service comparison. Network service again, you have AWS CloudFront, that is for CDN, Global Content Delivery Network, CDN, and in AWS they give CloudFront, Azure, name goes as same, Azure Content Delivery Network, Google Content Delivery Network, right? And direct connection, AWS Direct Connect, Express Route, Google Cloud Interconnect, and DNS. Likewise, just go to those things. So load balancing, we have AWS offers Elastic load balancing, and Cloudflare is a different one. Actually, they have this classic load balancer and Elastic load balancer. Classic load balancer is not listed here, but anyway, AWS load balancing. So Azure load balancer, application gateway by Azure, right? GCP they have cloud load balancer, right? So VPN, virtual private network, so by VPC by AWS, VNet by Azure, VPC by GCP. All right, so then the next one is support and pricing, right? So this is kind of important thing. So in AWS self-service, we have, yes, documentation, discussion forums, they have those things. And again, Azure documentation, community support. Again, GCP also has those things. Right? If you go to this one, you can see community support from Azure. So you can discuss, you can post your questions, right? Azure community support, right? So supported by community channels, Stack Overflow, one of the most popular, right? You know these things, right? Oh, right. So if you go back again and take a look at AWS documentation, so everybody has that, right, documentation. So they give everything is well explained. So you can see AWS documentation under each category, right? So you can, if you want to take a look at about ECR, so you click here and relevant documentation for ECR will come in, right? And they have given documents for each, most of the activities are covered, how to do. Okay, and we have support plans. We have AWS support plans, Azure support plans. So here we go with support plans by Azure. You can see compare support plans, basic, developer, standard, professional. So these are the things covered. 24/7 support covered by all of these services. Yes. Okay. So we are, when it's come to advanced now, third-party software support with interoperability is not even under request support. It's coming under purchase support and all that. The pricing will vary depending on, you can see, right, $29 per month. Professional support is the highest, right? So this is from Azure, right? So if you want to take a look at one of others, right? So GCP support. They also have customer basic, standard, enhanced, premium. So you can see the price. You can they have the cost estimate as well. So just take a look at it. So just to click on the deck, depending on your requirement. So we no need to go each and everything in this analysis. And when it comes to pricing, you have free tier, offered by everybody, right? So when you click here, free tier, this is by AWS free tier. So you have the conditions, 750 hours and storage 5 GB. But yeah, whichever comes first. So there is, I think, 1 year, right? They say 1 year or 750. Here they have 12 months free, 700 or 750 hours per month. Okay, resizable with 12 months free tier. I think they have changed it. Is it to per month? Okay, maximum 750 hours per month, and you can go for 12 months. Yes, that's, they have changed it. This is okay, right? So, and again, yes, database also we have under free tier. Free tier, these things are eligible. Not all are eligible in free tier. So you have to be very careful when you're working in free tier. But again, you have to set the alarms and the alerts on your billing. So we will discuss those things later, how to work on free tier. Practically, I will demonstrate those things. So without costing, because a lot of people does those mistakes. I mean, there are eligible instances in EC2, eligible resources in free tier in every vendor offers, and there are easy ways to stay within those limits. So let's discuss those things later. So, and again, you have as you go, you can click on, this is cost calculator, right? If you click the Azure calculator, so it will take you to this place, calculate cost per month. Save, okay, meet cloud, yeah, more cloud, less cost. Okay, so when you spend, we had that discussion, right? On the migration, when after right sizing, you get the reserve instance, so it will be less cost with the time. Optimize your reservation and flexible. Okay, right. So just go through it. Cost calculating, purchase and Azure. Okay, return on investment, Azure, right? Purchase and Azure, right? Okay, reserved instance, right? This is Azure, right? Reserved instance, right? Yeah, so we have instance types, 40 instances, preemptive instances, quite different to normal instances. So reserved instances, and we have from Azure, they have something called hybrid benefit. And again, Google, they have sustained use discount. right? So different things, right? So just take a look at those things, right? I may not go through everything one by one, but you see the, I mean, difference on those things. That's what I want to give you using these tables, just for you to have a comparative idea, not to dig into each and everything. But if somebody wants, I can include the links right away. Just click there and it will take you to the relevant links, right? Okay, right. So, okay, cost comparison scenario. So this can be quite important, right? Cost comparison scenario. Right. So, for example, if you go for AWS calculator, so we can go there and see how do you calculate the cost, right? So this is on the AWS, right? They have this per month. How do you calculate? And we can compare actually. So let's close this. So let's take, yeah, now this we have AWS. Let's take Azure as well. Let's do a comparison. Azure calculator, right? So now we have the both here. This is AWS and this is Azure, right? So let's do a little bit of comparison with the same configuration. Let's do the one of the basic things. Okay, let's take similar instances and let's see how the cost goes, right? So I'm going to take virtual machines from Azure, right? Okay, virtual machines added. So if you click here, go down and get it, right? So this is now under virtual machines, you estimate. So I want a virtual machine. Let's we can select our requirement. Okay, let's say East US. Let's go to AWS. So AWS also US East. Okay, we are on both same region, no? US East or here. Here also we are in US East, right? And we are going to take Linux instance. That's fine, Linux. So whatever OS is okay. Here, let's keep standard, right? Category all, yeah, let's not get memory optimized or hyperpon, nothing. Instance also, let's keep it all. And I want to take, okay, this is D4 16 GB. That's okay. D4 4 cores, 4 vCPUs, 16 GB, 100 GB storage, right? So let's keep that one and let's try to get the same configuration in the AWS, right? So to AWS, here is 4 CPUs, 16 GB, right? 4 vCPUs, right? So I want US East, Linux, okay, I have selected that one. 4 vCPU, 16 GB, same, no, right? That's fine, okay. And quantity one and utilization 100%. So utilization per month 100, that means it always is up. But here, I have reduced it to 100 hours. So therefore, let's put this on now. If I want to make it all the way, I have to say at least 720 hours now per month. So 720 means is always, right? Because per day 224 hours, right? So 30 days it comes to around 720. Yeah, it's okay, right? But here AWS also it is utilizing 100% means always up. So if you take a look at the cost and okay, storage, we missed that. Storage limit here 30 GB, no, the disk storage, and we have taken SSD, right? And here for the storage, where's the storage? 100 GB. Okay, we need to increase there. So here we say 30 GB, no, let's say 100 GB. Fine. Now we have 100 GB USD, okay. SSD, same, that's fine. Cluster cost, as AWS says 71.54 US dollars, right? Roughly. So what Azure says, monthly 130, not quite, same thing, no? vCPU 8 GB, 730 hours, okay? So vCPU 8 GB, 730. Here also, we have vCPU 4, Here memory is 16 GB, right? So here is 8 GB RAM. Oh, so why that cost was very high? Okay, license included. Okay, yeah, that. We have selected OS Windows here. That's it. Forget it. Linux. And again, now it's gone, but yeah, it brings down to 85. Right, that's okay. That's the reason because Windows license also included. No, okay. Pay as you go. That's done. And 730. All right. So we are not much of a difference. I think we can adjust. But here is 8 GB. No? Right. It is 16 GB. Right? So let's make it 8. Yeah. 8 GB. No, correct. No. Now, first went down. Oh, went down to 56. Went down to 56 US dollars per month. 100% usage, right? EC2 saving plan, reservation term 1 year, no upfront, yeah, utilization 100. Okay. Anyway, hey, just do the further studies, right? Quick estimate, yeah, that's true. No, nothing much of a difference here, but it looks like this one has a higher cost, right? Sure. And 8 GB, 50 GB temporary. Okay, 8 GB, 8 GB. Is that 8 GB? What is the disk size here? Storage. This is 100, right? This fellow has even 50. All right. We can do further optimizations. Yes, 85 hour rate. Monthly estimate 85. But here it says monthly estimate 46. Hmm. Plans instance monthly, Amazon block storage, okay, 51. Hmm. Here it says 51, here it says 85. Okay, right. But anyway, I just want to show you a comparison. So there can be we can do some optimizations here. Right? But then, for example, if you reduce this one, I want to say 100 now. See what happens. Dramatically, the cost will go down. Right? But what I did 100 hours. Earlier it was 720 hours, right? Instance all instance that's okay. And yeah, okay. Okay, that's one though. That's good. Yeah, monthly cost 11. That's why because I reduced, right? I reduced it took some time to calculate. I reduced the usage. 100 hours means just very low. Maybe usage this machine is down, instance is down for a long time. And again, this one also I can say usage is now, for example, here it says EC2 instance utilization 100%, right? So I can give the percentages as 25%. This machine is down, which is not when not using machine is down, this goes down. I have to refresh that to my estimate, right? So anyway, it will go down, right? So yeah, that's go back and so depending on the number of hours, it will go down. And EC2 4 and this utilization, I have to say 25%, right? Same. Yeah, should refresh, but maybe taking some time. Yeah, you can check it. It's working, right? So maybe something's wrong here. You just have to say the percentage and press enter, but not coming. Anyway, it's okay, right? So if you say add to my estimate, but that will do a different thing. You can see. Right? So that's it will give you first 12 months and it will give you monthly and 12 months likewise. So let's do these things practically again in more detail. I just here in the presentation, I just want to show you the comparison. So Azure and AWS calculator. So whenever you plan your instances, you have to do the cost calculation, right? So that's what I just want to show. And we have another one. Cloudorado is a third party one. So on the Cloudorado also, Cloudorado, so we can just check our cost, right? You can see Cloudorado. And you can add it here. Now this is the one I have created, and just the requirement you can put here, for example, 4 CPUs. And likewise, you can change it, let's say 8 CPUs. So depending on that, they will give, I mean, all accessible for your current location, I mean, depending on the geographical location that you have published, all accessible cloud support providers will be given, right? Then which is cost, depending on the spec I have given. So I have given CPU 8 and RAM 4, storage 20, and likewise for this requirement. So this is the price by each vendor, Google, and likewise we have other AWS, other people also, right? For example, this dimension data and no, right? So Storm and yeah, it's other giant Azure, Microsoft, right? Here we have Windows, right? So anyway, so for the time being, I'm not going to compare the cost like I did earlier. So because we need to have more knowledge and more cost optimizations can be done. I just want to go through high level and for you to give an idea only, right? So let's do those things with scenario basis later, more detail, right? So Cloudorado is another one for you to calculate cost, right? All right. So this other one. So this is a guidance framework for optimizing cost. So because with the cloud journey, you have to optimize your cost. So this is just a guideline from again framework from Gartner. So they say go to these steps: plan, track, reduce, optimize, evolve. Right. So how do you plan is given here. How do you track is given here. For example, anomalies and here we have chargeback and showback, right? So those are tracking. So you know what is chargeback is. Chargeback is now, for example, within the organization, each unit, each department is responsible for their usage. That's what, right? So they are technology users, they are resource users on the cloud. So that is chargeback. Showback means maybe they need to do the analysis. Okay, we use these things and this is the analysis for that particular resource usage likewise. So chargeback is very important two things, right? Chargeback and showback. I mean, each vendor also gives how to calculate, how to put the settings for chargeback and the costing. You can do that. And there are third-party tools as well. For example, Microsoft Signature, right? So likewise, you can go for chargeback and showback. Yeah. So reduce. So that's a kind of framework. So let's go through these things in more detail later, right? So for the time being, just take a look at it, a framework to manage cost, right? So let's stop here because we don't need to have such lengthy session. Of course, we spent certain time on this session as well, but I'm trying to, I mean, this overview is so much detail, we can go to many hours, but let's not go into that much of details in this industry overview. If you get the idea, this is how it's going to be, and the costing and the comparison and the service offering and all these things, that's the expectation of this. So don't worry about the deeper end of these things, just to get awareness. All right, so I'll meet you in the next session. So if you like the video, you can put a subscribe. Okay, thanks. I'll meet you soon. Okay, bye bye.